Now, Economist Azar Jammine has warned that Eskom's continued failure to meet demand for electricity will make it difficult for the economy to grow. Eskom, of course, struggling to service more than 440 billion rand of debt, which it ran up due to surging salary, fuel and debt servicing costs, as well as mismanagement and corruption. Now, the power utility says its system will remain severely constrained this week as a result of delays in the restoration of 8 of its generation units. Last week, Eskom implemented stage 2 load shedding, which it reduced to stage 1. However, we did have electricity over the weekend. Let's chat now to Eskom spokesperson Sikonathi Mantshantsha. Sikonathi, thank you so much for the time. Appreciate it this afternoon. Basically, I suppose the big question at this point is, how far away from load shedding are we?
Thank you, Arabile. At this point, the system is indeed severely constrained. We've got about 17,000 megawatts in equipment that suffered breakdowns. I cannot specifically say how many hours away we are from load shedding, but it is a real possibility indeed.
When you say a real possibility, that's this week or today even?
Arabile, at short notice, they might, if there's any further breakdowns, we will have to announce load shedding. That might be today, that might be any day from now, unfortunately.
What's happened with the restoration of those 8 units, Sikonathi? Why has there been such a delay with regards to them? Why is there such a big problem? And how long will it take to correct this delay as well?
There are 3 units that needed, according to the maintenance program, to return to service last night. We are working hard to return those today and indeed tomorrow. However, we are saying, should there be any breakdown? As you know, Arabile, unfortunately, breakdowns occur quite a lot here and are quite unpredictable. So we are warning the people that anytime should there be any breakdown, we might have to implement load shedding. At this point, we have another 5 units that have tripped over the past 2 to 3 days, which last week landed us in load shedding. We are restoring those, and until such time those have been returned to service, the possibility of load shedding remains real and immediate.
Yeah. So can we go to level 2 lockdown then, does South Africa? That means an even greater opening of South Africa's economy, whether it be restaurants or factories or the like as well. What does that mean for the power constraints that we could actually be experiencing?
Arabile, that does mean there will be an increase in demand for electricity. And with this kind of system that landed us in load shedding even before the economy opened, it does mean indeed that the constraints will deepen. I cannot say at this stage that we will definitely be having load shedding all of this time. But as we are talking now, load shedding remains a distinct possibility. That's unfortunately where we are. There is, however, a plan which, unfortunately, again, is not going to just happen tomorrow. We are working towards ending this the high occurrence of load shedding. Unfortunately, that plan hinges on the completion of the design modifications at the Medupi power station and at Kusile. We will be finishing with those repairs at Medupi by the end of November. We already have a unit that is performing at full capacity since it underwent the repairs. There's 2 more that have been taken out for service at Medupi. And by the end of November, all of Medupi will, for the first time, be giving us the full design capacity of 4,800 megawatts. And we will then move to Kusile Power Station, starting in the first quarter of 2021, and do exactly the same repairs to the design defects, which will go all the way to September. And for Kusile to finally give us, again, a reliable 4,800 megawatts for the first time. So that is the plan to end load shedding. I'm careful to repeat this again, Arabile, that unfortunately the occurrence of load shedding will be with us for a while until at least those repairs have been conducted and indeed the reliability maintenance.
So we're saying then basically when Medupi comes online completely, which is in November, and then Kusile early next year, after those are put online completely, the occurrence of load shedding should be minimized, if not completely vanishing.
Yes, although we cannot give the guarantee that there will be no load shedding. Remember, the largest part of the fleet are these aged power stations that today are giving us these kinds of problems. If you remember, we promised the country with high degree of confidence during the lockdown, having conducted this extensive maintenance on these old plants, which today are again broken, and we are therefore discussing the possibility of load shedding, the occurrence of load shedding. What next year will do, completing the design defects at Medupi, will at least give us a reliable 9,600 megawatts of power from which to build a base.
So, okay. One other element that has happened quite recently is that you've continued to win court cases against NERSA when it comes to the increase of prices for electricity and power usage as well. What does that actually mean then for consumers? How much will prices go up by, at what stage within the next cycle as well?
Arabile, they said is that the prices for electricity will increase. Let's take as a start the recent court case on the equity injection. The court has already said, starting on the 1st of April 2021, the price must increase per kilowatt hour from 1 rand 16 cents to 1 rand 28 cents in order to recover the 23 billion rand per year that the finance minister gave to Eskom in an equity injection, but which was treated as revenue by NERSA. And the court has also ruled that the electricity price must increase the following year until we have recovered over the next 3 financial years the full 69 billion rand that was allocated by the government as an equity injection. That unfortunately does mean that prices will increase. Eskom can give the assurance that we will make sure that we do not further increase those prices all at once in order to further depress the economy. We will handle ourselves in a manner that takes care of the fragile situation in which the broader economy is. So, but the bottom line is, yes, indeed, electricity prices have to rise.
So, Sikonathi, from here, you've already made, there's already been a planned progression with regards to how much money Eskom will be given from government's perspective. Can we get your reassurance, Eskom's reassurance, that you'll no longer be asking for money from government, considering the price increases that you're about to institute very soon?
Thank you, Arabile. At this point, Eskom does not have any plan to request any further financial assistance in addition to what has been committed by the government. The changes that are happening, including what I just said now about the Medupi and Kusile power station, will go a long way to assisting Eskom in doing away with the need for further financial assistance, because you will now be able to generate revenue from those power stations, as well as the other mechanisms inside to reduce costs. Eskom is working on the basis that the shareholder has possibly reached the maximum capacity to extend any further bailouts, and we are not in any way counting on new money coming from the government.
Sikonathi Mantshantsha, thank you so much for your time there. Spokesperson for Power Utility Eskom, joining us there via Skype. Of course, the interesting element there and the lead story out of that interview really is that load shedding could be imminent. It could be today, it could be any time this week then, but a severely constrained power system does mean that they will have to institute load shedding very soon, and could even see South Africans get a price increase with regards to power prices as well very soon. All of that being said out of Eskom's spokesperson.